Hi guys, how are you? Okay, we are going to now start something very special and very interesting. This is applicable for almost everybody. You know, we are going to start a series on personal branding or individual branding. However, that you want to put it across. This is not only for business community or startup entrepreneurs. This is spread across everybody. It can be for students, it can be for you, it can be for me, uh, it can be for anybody. Okay, there is easier way where you can actually start your personal branding activity over a period of 2 decades. Like through my experience, I have seen couple of people who have done very well when it comes to branding themselves. There will be a profession which they will be working on, and there will be a personal branding also which they carry along with their profession. It can be in the similar lines or it can be in a different line. But the starting for all is from their basic passion or things they like to do. So isn't that interesting? Okay, most of the times, we all go for a very costly branding program, workshops, conferences, for people to tell us that, like, discover yourself, find that spark in you, and that is you, things like that. But without even we knowing ourselves, we have got that branding in ourselves from our childhood, our first passion, our longing passion for few things, the interest which we like to do. So if you look at that, those can be our very nice starting platform for identifying a brand called me. Okay. So during the course of this journey, I will try my maximum to bring you individuals, business owners, medical professionals who have successfully found a passion and then converted that into a brand and converted that brand into a professional engagement. Ladies and gentlemen, do not mistake. Professional engagement is not business. Professional engagement is not all about money. Business again is not all about making money. Okay, there are variety of this. We are going to handle the branding structure alone in this. The scope is how you can build a brand. I hope it's a very interesting task. I'm so excited to bring these guests. I'm hoping to present one guest every week, and this initial guest has two different branding of himself. So I'm hoping that I will be able to extract as much time as possible from him and make two episodes of it. Okay, let's get into the subject. The first guest name is Bertie Ashley. Let's go for the interview. Thanks, Bertie, for accepting my invite and coming to my show.
Absolutely. My pleasure.
Just a small intro about you to our viewers.
About myself? Okay.
Yeah.
So, I am, okay, apropos of the name, I am a proper Tamil boy born in Madurai, born and raised up in Madurai. Did my schooling, my college, everything in Madurai. Since as a small kid, I've always wanted to be a molecular as a scientist. That's what I wanted to become. And I ended up becoming a molecular biologist. I'm technically a molecular geneticist. I work on rare genetic disorders, and currently we are working on a genetic therapy for muscular dystrophy. So that is professionally what I do. But then I have varied interests, as lots of people keep telling me, because the job that I do is quite intense, and to keep myself sane, I do lots of things which are not science at all. And some of the things is quizzing and music, and finding good places to have good food and good filter coffee. So not in any particular order, but that's what I enjoy. That's what my life is all about nowadays.
Fantastic. Okay. Just for viewers, I know Bertie for quite a long years, so I can definitely vouch, like for everything that he's saying. And we are going to take two avatars of Bertie, and then we are going to take it forward. One is which we all are very proud of Bertie. Like all Madurai people, we are all very proud of him being a quiz genius. Like I have actually shared a different type of profiling with. I was part of as a contestant. I was part as a quiz maker, and I was also part as an organizer when Bertie was actually doing his primes during his schooling period, and of course,
No, sir.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
during the college days. So I've literally seen his passion. It's something you cannot hide it, and it just anybody can easily see. But the concept for today is as I given in the introduction. He did not leave it as soon as the profession kicked in. Okay, he kept continuing that, and that has actually become his brand. So we let's explore that side of it. Bertie, what made you to keep it going?
Okay, so the thing is, I was born with insatiable curiosity. Okay, my mom and dad can vouch for that. I keep asking questions: why, where, when, how, who, and in school also. Obviously, we all know the great Mr. G.R. Diwakar, and he was my chemistry sir, and he is the one who first pointed out, okay, if you can ask so many questions, that means you should also be in a way to answer those questions. So you start doing things, and he got me into quizzing, and this curiosity is something that's always there. So irrespective of whether it's in a professional or personal avenue, I have this inherent thing to find out more about something, or to just lots of people say random information, random trivia, random funda, something like that. Like how do I say this? Very very simply. Okay, like let's say you take a rupee note, a currency note. Okay, you see it every single day. Correct. And you just like use it for transactions, you see it nowadays, whatever. But there are so many things interesting about it. For example, just this morning I was talking to someone and I was telling them, the back of a currency note, there are 15 languages in which the currency is given. So do you know in which order they are? Do you know which order they are given?
Maybe alphabetical or
Yeah,
probably,
it's exactly, it's an English alphabetical order. Okay,
yeah.
it goes from Assamese to Urdu. And this person he thought maybe it's in the state from north to south. Then another person thought maybe it's from most population to lowest population. So it's something interesting, right? So this trivia and funda was something that since a kid I have been like trying to get it, and I realized later that I had this inherent ability to share it with other people. Like I was not happy with just keeping it to myself. I'd like to give that information out and share that information. And that's what brought in the concept of quizzing on the public sphere. Right? So in school, as you know, I was participating in quizzes. So I used to go to quizzes, and using the knowledge that I had, I won stuff. By the way, I have to tell you this. The very first time I ever won anything of value was at LOSA. And I won the quiz and Panchara's quiz, and at the end of it, I also won LOSA Genius, and they gave me a Sony Walkman, and it's still there at home. And that's the first time I had won something for doing something that I'm really passionate about. Even if you had guys had given nothing, I would have still been happy. But then that was one way where you showed that you are rewarded for following your passion, right? So when I became when I did my bachelor's and then my master's, and when I got my degree and I went into my profession, I found there's less time for me to be attending these quizzes as much as I would like to have. I used to go for the landmark quiz, I used to go for the Oxford quiz and stuff like that, but then I missed going to other quizzes. But then I realized that there are lots of people who asked me whether I could conduct a quiz, right? And I grew up being almost, I have to say mentored. Like they might not know this, but they mentored me. Was Diwakar, Panza, Ramesh Rajagopalan, and Chaitanya, who are three of the best quiz masters I have seen. and Siddharth Basu of Mastermind and Convena Acropathy now. So I used to follow these. I used to watch them on TV, and I learned from these people. And then I thought, why not try? I'm going to try with Papa. Like, just, like, it sounds so interesting where you tell people fun and facts. And that's how I got into that. So the reason it became from passion to something that I was able to do it on a longer basis was because I got into the college quizzing scene as a quiz master. Because when you go into college, like people from Madurai, probably especially students from TVS and Vikasa, Jeevana and all, know quizzing as something fun. But if you go out, people think of quizzes as something boring. People asking questions such as like, who's the prime minister of this country, which is the longest animal, or whatever. It's boring. People think it's information which is bugged up, which only certain individuals know. It's only for memory skills. That is not true. It's about putting two things together. It's about thinking out of the box and stuff like that. And when I went to Chennai and I started doing quizmaster job and doing quizzes for these people, I brought in that angle. I brought in the angle of connects. I brought in the angle of visual questions and figuring out things from the world around you, not asking some arbit question about some football team in the UK or something like that. And that got people interested, and that led one thing to another. And people enjoyed the different type of phrasing I did in the quizzing and everything. Now you said something very interesting about your passion taking you higher. If you focus on it, that's what happened in this case. So this is true story. At one point of time in Chennai, I think 2008, 2009, in the top 5 girls' colleges, women's colleges in Chennai, I'll be the one doing the quiz. Etiraj, MOP, and Stella Maris at WCC and SIT, I was the one who was doing the quizzes. So at one point of time, one girl and one boy who used to frequent this quiz, they got back to me and they said they used to be participants and now they had finished and they graduated from ACG and they joined the Hindu as employees. And when the Hindu was looking for somebody new to come up with the quiz, they immediately thought of me and they gave me a call. And that's how I got my now column. That's now it's almost 3-year-long column which I've been doing for the Hindu Sunday magazine, where every Sunday something comes out. Again, that was not something which I ever thought would be possible, but purely came because of me putting that effort into passion, and then it's translated into something bigger right now.
Perfect.
So yeah.
Perfect. See, one of the things is that, like as you rightly said, keeping and then persevering that passion and then, making it a serious attempt. It's not only, like considering that passion as a side thing, like putting a very serious attempt. Specifically when it comes to, let's say, you started writing for Hindu, all those things. But what is this particular passion added to a brand called Bertie? Like when people start looking at you, okay, they always see you as your profession, but they see you as this brand also. Okay. Generally, what people feel is that, okay, if I'm not going to be a quizzer, okay, why should I probably keep it? If I'm going to be a doctor, this is not something which, like people may find it silly because I'm a doctor, but, like doing, how that myth can be broken. Because I'm one of the person who always advise multidimensional outcast for a brand. But there are very big organizations which comes with very straightforward unilateral branding. So this session is one of the things to break that unilateral branding and break that multidimensional parameter. So how did this brand go on.
So this is very interesting because one of the things is about recent millennial line of thought. Okay, so what in millennial terms I am known as a slashy. Okay, a slashy is someone who has more than one, I can't say profession, but more than one source of income, primary source of income. So I am a scientist slash quizzer, and for a long time I was also slash musician. Okay, but now let's just focus on these two, scientist slash quizzer. So the thing is this, this is, how do I say this? People usually think that you either sacrifice one for the other, or that you are not paying enough attention to one or the other. Okay, we grew up in this. I don't know if it's old school of thought or but it's a normal school of thought where they're like either you become this or that. Don't be distracted, or you can't be good at two things at the same time. You know that old English adage, jack of all trades, master of none. Yeah, so I don't believe in that. I honestly don't believe in that, and I know from personal experience that it need not be true in all cases. It might be true in certain cases, but people are very multifaceted. The human brain is extremely complex. It is able to do multiple things at the same time. Good. Okay, all of us now, every single one of us, we use the mobile phone, we read through, we process this while eating. Okay, or lots of people are able to do multiple things at the same time without thinking about it. We listen to music and run, we listen to podcasts and we walk, and we don't miss a bus stop that you're coming to because our brains naturally like, here's the thing, if you're doing the same type of thing at the same time, then it'll be distracting. But if you're doing a left brain activity and a right brain activity at the same time, it doesn't work. It doesn't happen like that. It's fine. You can still do what you want. So in my case, you talked about branding, right? So in my case, it's very, very interesting because more people know me as a quizzer than people who know me as a science person, right? Only those in my field know me as a science person, and suddenly there'll be these people who I know for ages, okay, professors in IISc or somebody from NCBS who suddenly say, "Wait, my student just told me that you're the guy who writes a quiz for the Harvard Sunday magazine. Are you the same guy?" It also becomes very easy because I have a name which is very unique, so there's not too many Bertie Ashleys. So then they discover that's me. Okay, but more people, because they read the Hindu and I've been doing this for a longer amount of time, more people know me as a quizzer. So as a brand, uh, what happened was, okay, I came to signify this person who shares interesting funda, interesting trivia, and is knowledgeable. Okay, I don't know how it came. Okay, I honestly, it's something that I did not cultivate also, but I was very, very annoying in public places. Like in family groups, when somebody said something, I'm like, by the way, did you know this? And I say something. Okay. And then whenever we go out or whenever we give a speech or something, or whenever I'm with friends or something, I'll be like, bro, did you know this? Or if I'm in a WhatsApp group, I'm the fact checker. If somebody puts in the thing, I'll be like, this is the fact. That is not true. So now you might think that a quizzer means passion means quizzing. You sit down and make questions or you watch quizzes. No, no, no. It's about facts and funda, right? So the uncle who's on your WhatsApp group who sends something about, did you know this? Now that he's a quizzer, he doesn't know it, but he's a quizzer. He doesn't have to attend a quiz or he has to win a quiz, but he's a good quizzer because he's interested in some facet that's not there. So in my group, I became that guy. So much so that there have been times where an uncle or an aunt has called up late at night and said, "Hey, buddy, what's the name of the like?" I think the last time was an uncle who asked me, "What are the names of the 4 presidents on Mount Rushmore?" Now I found that very interesting because he had a phone, he had Google. Instead of asking me, he could have just used the phone and said Google. But to him, it was first thing, okay, let's ask Bertie. Then later on, much later, I asked him, Uncle, why did you ask me instead of just Googling? So he said, very interesting, and I love this, was he said, if I Google, I get the answer to what I want. I just put 4 presidents' name, it will come out. But when talking to you, you give me random others funda, which I find interesting, which I would have never found if I had only Googled. Okay, so I thought that was pretty interesting. So that's where the human brain, like people, who people say, oh, he's that Google guy. I don't think that's a compliment because Google gives you exactly what the question is. The answer is done. Right? There is no organic thinking into it. Right? No, like for example, when somebody talks to me about something, I tend to tell them things which they might not know. I'll be like, by the way, did you know? Okay, and the human brain loves new information. It's something called epiphany teaching, EPIPHANY, right? Where the brain, whenever you tell somebody something that they did not know of or were not aware of, your brain immediately goes, that is so cool. And you become a better person in that person's eyes. You don't become superior or anything. Nobody's just because you gave some new information. It's not they're going to say, okay, he's better off me. No, like that person cared enough about me to tell me something I didn't know, so that I could know something information that I can pass on. So it's more like something that sets a
The passion
bond.
has that power.
Yeah, exactly, absolutely, absolutely. So and I became that person. So my brand, you could say, was incessant, sometimes unnecessary information outflow. And my skill set, which I had to grow, was to mold it in such a way that people enjoy it in the form of jokes or wording or phrasing, and also to ask it in such a way that people enjoy it. The Hindu Sunday magazine is a very good example. Like, for example, you can ask a question in one line, right? You can just ask one question, and it's a closed end question, and it's boring. The same thing, you put in some more effort, you put in a little bit of information, make it sound a little better, put in a joke or something, and make it a question, then people enjoy it more. So that's where you have to build it. So that's what I have done over 5 years now, where I have honed that skill of making that kind of question. And this is where I have to say thanks to Siddharth Basu. So I worked with Siddharth Basu for 2 years. I was a senior content editor for Ninglu Mellala Morkodi, which is a Tamil version of Anmanaya Dropati. And there we had these proper workshops, and with Siddharth Basu, every day is a masterclass. Okay, like you just have to pay attention to what he's saying, and it's just wisdom of the highest level. And that's when we learned the art of asking questions, and I was able to hone my skills. And that was very sweet of him when Rupa Publications, they published my book, and I asked him if he'll be able to do it, and he wrote a lovely 4-page foreword, which I still think is an amazing certificate of recommendation from definitely the godfather of quizzing in India. So that now the thing is, like you said, my brand is still on par. Okay, I am in the lab right now. Like, I have to go to my work right now. My PCR is still running. There are people who still call me and ask me for results and everything, but it does not interfere with my quizzing. And very, very thankfully, the place I work with, they understand it. So if I tell them saying, like, listen, tomorrow landmark quiz is there, I have to go for it. They're like, okay, if your experiment is over, then go and come. Like that. And nowadays, my lab mates ask me to do quizzes. They suddenly call me, like a couple of days back, a lab mate called me like, hey, my family WhatsApp group, they're asking questions. Send me 4 or 5 questions. And send me questions that they cannot Google. And that became a thing, right? So people love knowledge. People love the fact that there's information and trivia out there, right? And nowadays, in lockdown, you'll see so many quizzes happening. Lockdown quiz that, and even without prizes, just the fact that you're participating in a quiz and you're learning something new is so amazingly exciting. Like, every day I do like 2 or 3 of these quizzes, and every day I learn something new. This is amazing.
Fantastic.
As a brand, quizzing is something that is unlike other things, is something that directly works with the human psyche, right? Your brand is not trying to turn person towards it. Your brand is not getting to people to do something that's not natural. Your brand is literally building on something that a person already has, but is not aware that he has it.
That's exactly my next cue. You have literally came to my next cue.
Okay.
Like, from being a normal, how to say, I wouldn't say normal, from being a quiz participant to becoming a quiz master, and then working with Kaun Banega Crorepati team with Siddharth Basu, and then writing your own book. Okay. So there is a journey, and along with that journey, there is a big learning also. Okay.
Absolutely.
So now is the time where, I want Bertie to probably do something like an avatar. Let's say I'm a student. Let's say, rewind 15-20 years back, I'm Bertie. Okay. And if I have to probably start over, if not, you have to start over with the same kind of a knowledge that you have, it would be much different way, a much matured way. Okay.
Absolutely.
Here. So this is my cue. So if at all somebody in school or colleges, or it can even be anybody. See, for quizzing, there is no age.
Okay? Yeah, absolutely.
Somebody is having the fire in the belly, and somebody wants to do it. Okay. What is the first start? And what are all the avenues which they can first thing they can make themselves a good quiz participant, and if they are already a good quiz participant, how can they probably continue to become a quiz master?
Okay, now it's become far easier right now. Okay, Satish, you have no idea. Like we grew up like in Madurai. Okay, where I think Priya Consultancy Center was the first internet center in Bypass Road, and I remember paying 60 rupees per hour or something, and I could use only Yahoo Chat or something. Okay? And we had our school libraries, and that's about it. Right now, the whole world is open for anybody. Right? Like there are quizzes on just Facebook and on WhatsApp groups which do, or Telegram groups which do only quizzes. Right now, if there's somebody out there who wants to get into quizzing, right, it's the easiest thing possible because there are so many avenues. Now, the first thing, irrespective of whether you want to become a quizzer or a quiz master, is to start to assimilate data, right? Is to learn different things. But here's where I will give my first tip. It's very natural for you to only concentrate on things that you like or that you know. Like, for example, if you're a cricket fan, your expertise will become cricket, right? In cricket, you can ask any quiz, any question, you'll answer. Okay, but that's not how quizzes work. They're going to ask different things, and there are going to be lots of other ways of asking it also, right? Like, even if it's a cricket quiz, they're not going to ask you direct questions. They're going to ask you questions which are left of center and from far off and something like that. Okay, for example, one of the greatest cricketers was Arthur Conan Doyle, right? Who we all know as the author of Shakespeare, the author of Sherlock Holmes, right? But AC Doyle was a professional cricketer at one point of time. He used to play like first class cricket. So I can say I'll do a cricket quiz, but I'll ask questions about Doyle. No, unless you can't say no. You asked about literature. I don't know about literature. That's not mine. I said like no, but he's a cricketer. I can ask a question, right? So you have to put yourself out of the comfort zone. You have to get yourself acquainted with things other than what you're just comfortable with, right? Like in school. Okay, here's the thing. If you're a quizzer, you always do it as a team. You have a teammate, right? You and another person. Now, the thing is, how in school we decide teammates is somebody who has different views from you. Like, for example, I was not good at history. So, my teammate Sheikh Ansar, he was very good at history. I was not good at sports. He was very good at sports. I took care of literature and geography. He took care of history and sports. But as a quizmaster, you're one person.
Right.
You have to do all of that, right? So you have to constantly make sure that you discover something new. And the best way is like your friend in Malaysia is to keep reading. Okay.
Right.
And again, you shouldn't read GK books. There's no use buying a book which has 1,000 facts, 1,000 trivia or something. You can buy it. But the thing is, we want you to understand it. Right? So if you like Mount Everest is the tallest mountain on earth, is a fact. Everybody knows it, it's in geography. But as a quizzer, I know certain things which make it interesting. For example, it is the tallest mountain, but it is not the highest point on earth. So do you know what is the highest point on earth?
No.
So this is very interesting because the highest point on earth is Hawaii.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So the thing is this, if you say tallest, it is literally the height from the base of the mountain to the top. Okay. But Hawaii is in the top of a mountain which is underwater. Okay. And that mountain is almost twice taller or it's higher than Mount Everest. Only thing we don't realize it because it's underwater.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So literally, if you put Mount Everest and that mountain next to it, it's called Mauna Kea, right next to it, Mount Everest will look only half its size. But because it's underwater, we don't think of it that way. Okay, fine, forget that. So it's not done. Now, obviously, if it's the tallest thing on Earth, like now, as in Mount Everest is above the sea level, then if you stood on top of Mount Everest, are you closer to the moon than anywhere else in the world? That's what people think, right? You are on the tallest mountain, you're standing on top, so you're closer to the moon. Again, that is also not true. Because now Mount Everest is about 8,800 meters. Okay. There's another mountain in Ecuador which is only 6,000 meters tall. Okay, it's close to 2,000 meters, shorter than Mount Everest, but it is on the equator, right? Now the Earth is bulged like a sphere, and India and especially Nepal is quite up there in the north.
Right.
So it is not on the sphere. So because the Earth is bulged, things on the equator are already 3,000 meters taller than everything else around. So this mountain, though it's shorter than Mount Everest, if you stood on top of the mountain, you're closer to the moon.
Yeah.
So if you were to Google Mount Everest, you won't get any of these facts, right? So this is what you get by researching and going further into something only by reading.
Okay, this is perfect because one of the things which viewers of this video will not actually get the experience of talking with Bertie in person, but this is how Bertie talks. You know, when we actually meet, there is another episode which I want to do with him, which is on music. He is one of the guys who knows everything about Pink Floyd. Maybe even Pink Floyd may not know, like something about him. Okay, about the other. Okay, that is for next thing. Okay, coming back. This is the passion which I was talking about. So, as a student, okay, if they are going to go ahead with this particular thing, okay, I don't want a tips to how they can make them into the profession, because everywhere there should be some kind of a struggle and they should go and do themselves. So it's not going to be a easy guide for making money. Okay.
Absolutely.
But what you can actually tell them, saying that, like when it comes to avenues, I'm not talking about passion or things. Avenues like, there are forums like this, if there are some forums, give a couple of names so that they can just enroll and then probably go ahead with that.
Okay. Okay, let me start off by saying that India has a very good quizzing culture, right? There are companies which are very interesting entrepreneurial companies. Okay, for example, there's a lovely company on like Twitter. Okay, just take Twitter for example. There's a company called Think to Win. Okay, and they do this week or daily, everyday family quiz, which is fantastic. Okay, it's free. Okay, and they have a quizzing league where about 200 people take part every day, and at the end of the month, the top 5 people get one 500 rupee voucher from Amazon. It's amazing. You just have to go to Think to Win, THINK to WIN. Okay, that's there. Then in Chennai, there's this group called Exquisite, right? They also run stuff like this, right? They used to do quizzes in malls. Now since lockdown, they've shifted completely to online. The quiz they did like 2 weeks back, they had like 650 participants online, right? It's just amazing the amount of knowledge you get if you just, and all of this is not because of people who are searching for anything. This is just there. It is like if you go on Facebook and you just put quiz, daily quiz, this stuff will keep coming up. Right? But forget that. The Federal has a quiz, the newspaper. The Hindu obviously has a quiz. The Federal has a lovely crossword, which is also a quiz. It's a crossword, but it gives you facts which you have to figure it out. It's done by this lovely person called Akila Fadnis. You should check it out, the Federal crossword. Every paper has some quiz or something or that every single day. And there's websites like funtrivia.com or quizzical.com where you can go online and it's completely free.
But see, now since so many, whatever that you're talking about, there are a lot of corporate versions of this quizzing is come. So, as a student, if I'm having so much of passion about this, so which means there should be possibility for me to get into something like an internship or doing some kind of a project.
Yes, absolutely. Actually, if I'm not wrong, there's 2 companies right now where one of somebody I know is being interned there. Like Think to Win is one. I know somebody is being interned there. There's also Chennai based another company, Nexus Consultation, who are also doing stuff like that. So here's the thing. Do you know these shows which are on Vijay TV and Sun TV and all these quizzing shows? So there's a group of people who are making questions for that, right? So those people need interns. So for example, when I used to work at Conbanaga Property, we used to take interns all the time. We used to take 3 different types of interns. Somebody for making content, somebody for checking the content, and somebody for running the show. right? So if you're into quizzer, you can always come. I'll tell you right away. You get how many if you make one question, right, and you give 3 proper sources, which is not Wikipedia, with fact check, you get 100 rupees per question. Okay, so let's say you make 10 questions per day, you get 1000 rupees already, right? So there are people who do this all the time, and the point being is that the avenues for making money is there. But if it's something that you're passionate about, it makes it much easier, because like for me, making 10 questions is not a big problem at all. In the span of 3 hours, I'll easily make like 10 questions. But I don't realize it as making money. I think of it as, okay, me doing something that I like to do. Now, for you to get there, you have to go through the process of internship or something. Now, I would really like it if every company, irrespective of whatever, don't need to be a knowledge company, maybe an IT company, could be anything. This is a nice way of getting your employees together and to have a sense of friendly competition, right? For example, if you have every second Saturday of your or whatever, second Friday or something, at after lunch, 45 minutes, we'll have a small quiz, fun quiz, right? We ask 15 questions, everybody and anybody can answer. The person who wins most gets one free coffee or something like simple thing. You will see the morale of the team going up. You will see that people like this, and then you will also see people coming up and say, sir, can I do the quiz next week? I want to ask 10 questions. We are not asking you to make your own questions. You can even ask questions from something else. Readers Digest used to have a running a quiz thing where they crowdsource questions from the readers, right? So this is a lovely way of building up team spirit, morale. Then they realize that this. I mean, it's not a sport, so you don't end up like hurting other people or physically injuring yourself, but you're mentally sporting. Yeah. You're mentally preparing yourself for a competition. At the same time, your brain is getting sharper. So in any way, it's a plus. And you can't play cricket or football now because of lockdown, social distancing. You know what's the best thing to do while social distancing? A quiz. There are hundreds of Zoom quizzes happening every day. You know the actor Jagan? He comes with Surya and all. He's doing a Zoom quiz about Friends, the TV series. That's amazing because that's what he likes to do. And he's doing a Zoom quiz. He's just told everybody on Facebook that if you like the TV series Friends, join it. I'm going to ask questions about it. As simple as that. So he's taken something that he loves and he's putting it onto a platform that he can now use called Zoom, and he's making a quiz out of it. Right? Perfect. Now, if you're an employee, you can go to your company, you can go to the HR and say, listen, give me 2 dates, let me do something. Or at least if you have a newsletter for your company or if you have a website, I will give you 20 questions every 1 month. Just publish it. Don't need to pay me at all. That's it. After 3 or 4 episodes, people come like, hey, you are Satish, right? You're the one who put questions on the website, right? I really enjoyed. I did not know this or something like that. And you don't even have to do your own research. Just go online and find something that interests you and put it, because whatever interests you will definitely interest at least 115 people outside.
Perfect. See, this I'm sure, like everybody who is actually watching this video will definitely know the passion. That's the kind of the urge that is required to take it forward. So we want to continue it forward, but one of the things which we keep in this channel is we keep everything at 30-35 minutes to the zone.
Yes.
So
attention span.
Yeah. So thank you so much, Bertie.
Oh, my pleasure. Absolutely.
We will continue this for your next avatar, which is music. Okay. And I'm sure that the viewers will also actually see the same kind of an energy will also come into the music version of
absolutely.
You also. Thank you so much. Your closing.
Thank you, Satish. Well, it's been an absolute pleasure and an honor to be part of this channel. I'm so glad you're taking this up. There are lots of people out there who need this. So everybody out there, follow this channel, like, subscribe, and make sure you share it with other people. This is so cool. I'm so glad to be here. I'm looking forward to more episodes from you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.